This is something that I always wanted to talk about, but I never wanted to feel hypocritical in talking about it. So I feel like I finally reached a point where I can talk about this confidently. So I'm gonna share a post that I just posted on Twitter. I'm sharing it on here too because it's a very long written post and I just wanted to reach as many people as possible. So I'm just gonna read it out to you because it is a long post. If you're a woman in the dating world and one of your goals in life is to get married and have a baby in a healthy, loving relationship where you feel nurtured and cared for without question, please drop anyone that makes you feel like you're too much, not funny, not beautiful, not enough, unimportant, not a priority, like the little things you care about don't matter. No one is going to know exactly how to love you 100%. So yes, in a relationship, you need to have conversations about what is important to you and why you care about certain things. The key thing is being able to have those conversations in a safe environment where you feel like you will be heard and not misunderstood, not feeling like you are getting misinterpreted with every word you say and that you are sounding like you are complaining or ungrateful. It's good to express yourself and your needs to your partner, and they should be safe to do the same thing, but the comfort that you're able to have those conversations needs to be in place. Your partner should never take you expressing yourself as an annoyance or complaining or an attack on them. Of course, the way we word things is very important and both people's feelings need to be considered when expressing. But again, that environment is there in a healthy relationship. If you argue over little things now and can't work through it, that is not the person for you long term. If you feel like you can't work well together, that is not the person for you long term. If you feel like your relationship revolves around sex and lacks emotional connection, that is not the person for you long term. If the relationship revolves around sex and an emotional connection, but it is not well known that you are a priority and exclusive and that you feel fulfilled and nurtured in that relationship, that is not the person for you long term. If you can't compromise, that is not the person for you long term. If you constantly feel like you're asking for a lot, that is not the person for you long term. If your beliefs and goals in life do not align, that is not the person for you long term. If they do not understand that you will both grow and become different versions of yourselves within the relationship and still pick each other every day, that is not the person for you long term. If they do not match your emotional intelligence, that is not the person for you long term. If they do not respect your autonomy and personal space, that is not the person for you long term. If they belittle your hard work, that is not the person for you long term. If they try to humble you, that is not the person for you long term. If they make you feel crazy for feeling the way you do, that is not the person for you long term. If they don't listen to you and just wait for you to stop talking so they can respond, that is not the person for you long term. If they lack work ethic, that is not the person for you long term. Now, I'm saying all of this as someone who is happily married, a new mom, and feels fulfilled and cared for and loved and nurtured in a healthy relationship. Every healthy relationship consists of people that meet each other in the middle, make compromises for each other with love and understanding, take care of each other's emotional and physical needs, listen to and respect each other, and there always needs to be effort from both sides. As women, we tend to have our walls up super high, and if you can find the person that allows you to feel safe bringing them down, and they constantly show you that they don't need to be up when you're with them, that is what can allow you to thrive and feel nurtured in your relationship. The person for you long term needs to be someone that calms your nervous system, not riles it up. Some days might feel too peaceful, especially if you're used to chaos and toxicity, but imagine how exhausting that would be to deal with long term. You want peace. You don't want to have to go through an emotional roller coaster to get to a decent place with your partner every day. Yes, these might be considered high standards, but that is what you need and should stick to if you want a high quality partner and a high quality life. You should never settle, and it might take years to find a person that meets this criteria, but better to wait and become the best version of yourself for yourself than to settle with someone that always makes you feel like something is lacking. You won't feel fulfilled, and that is agonizing. And that is not the person you want to raise your babies with you. If they think it's okay to treat you a certain way that you do not like, they will do the same with your kids. There is a lot of hookup culture these days and nobody wants to be serious. If you want to be serious, you need to take that seriously. You don't have to confine to what everyone else is doing just because it's there and there's nothing better to do. This is my longest post ever, and it's something I've always wanted to be able to share once I felt like I was at a point that I can confidently say I am living in the scenario I've always longed for myself. Every relationship looks different, but there are non-negotiables in my opinion. I say all of this with love and hope that you read this or listen to this and know that this kind of love exists and you are not asking for too much, and it is okay to feel lonely for a while as you find your person. Don't make finding a man your whole life's purpose. Work on yourself and be and embody what you want in a person. You will literally attract them right to you. A low vibrational person cannot comfortably meet a high vibrational person. Be your best self and be unapologetic about it. Not everyone is for you, and you are not for everyone, and that is good. Do not compromise yourself for people that do not take your feelings into consideration. This is your life, and you don't want to spend it catering to people who do not care about you in the same way. I don't know who's reading this or listening to this, but I am typing and saying this with so much love, as if I were to tell my future daughter one day. This is so serious, and it's so important if this is what you want and care about in life. If they do not meet you where you are at, you are better off without them. One of my dreams in life has always been to help women or girls in some way. Literally, as a young girl, I would dream about being a person others can come to for guidance and support. Not that I ever want to feel better than anyone else, because I'm just as human as everyone else. But I've always just wanted to help wherever I could. And whatever advice I would give, I would never want to feel hypocritical about. So it's always been important for me to be what I tell others about and speak on. If I were to write a book, it would be advice-based, but I feel like I can't really write about it until I've lived whatever it is I want to write about. But that's definitely always been a goal of mine. And everyone's life is different. Everyone's life experience is different, so people will relate to what I say in different ways. But if you are reading this or listening to this, that means we are living in the same lifetime, and there are constants that can be talked about. If you know anything about book writing and what that process is, I would appreciate some words of encouragement and guidance, because I have no idea where to start besides just writing. And I'm making this video spoken word out loud because I feel like it can reach more people. I've always been kind of shy to speak, without edits, without cuts, because I have a stutter. And I've always had a stutter, and it's made me a little bit insecure about public speaking and all of that. And I do get anxious speaking in front of people. But I do think that this is just a very important message to spread. And it's one that I've always wanted to be able to share with people. Just because I have had this little thing where I get a little insecure to speak out loud and to stutter in front of people doesn't mean that what I have to say isn't important. Again, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else. I'm not saying that my life is perfect. I'm saying that these are the things that I always looked out for and never settled for. And I feel very happy and content and fulfilled in my relationship and my life. And that is the least of what I want for every other woman who is watching this video to feel. Because, especially as women, we go a lot of our lives catering to other people. We give and we give and we give and we give. The least we can do is feel like we are getting that same fulfillment back. Yeah, again, I'm saying all of this with so much love, and I literally want the best for everybody who's watching this video. And that's why I speak. That's why I share this, because I feel like this is a place of mine that I can consider a strength. Emotional intelligence, talking about these things. If I can share that with one person and it helps one person, I am so happy. So yes, much love.